safety and security net. Please take care and on and off trains as underfoot surfaces may be affected by the weather. Government guidance states public transport.
Hello again and welcome back to our workshops from the Glasgow South Motor Tram and Rail Group. Now, some of you were asking about how we join our boards wiring wise together, and I'm going to show you how we do it. This is the D connectors. Wait, I'm going to zoom in a wee bit, let you see this. Got the D connector, the male D connector, and then you've got the plated cable like that, and the D connector on the other side. These are very robust, but we've got the latching type. If you look at it, there's a spring bit at the side that you click that in, the latching bit comes in and holds it in place. Some of the 50 way, it's got two screw connectors. We used to use them, but what we found was that the threads, after a wee while, if you're going to shows, take them in and out, the threads used to strip very easily. So we went with this latching type, but I don't know if you can get it with the 50 way. So I think we've actually abandoned the 50 way altogether. I think it's 37 way we use now, and if you need any more than that, we just double up. So that's how we do our wiring between our boards. Also, those of you who saw the last workshop will know that I had got myself a voltmeter for the rolling road, and I had a small ammeter as well. I'll widen this out so you can see a wee bit more now. Yeah. Excuse me. I now have the ammeter, roughly the same size as a voltmeter as I said it would be, but the needle is in the centre. So this one will reverse when you reverse the controller. And I'm going to show you, some of you might be maybe interested in fitting these to your control panels, because at least then when you're running your trains, you know how much current that the locomotive is drawing, which is quite important, because if the current starts to rise, then you know there's a problem. Either the wheels are dirty or maybe the commutator's didn't clean. This one is a 5 amp version. I took the 5 amp version. In retrospect, I might have been better with the 2 amp version or the 2.5 amp, because it barely moves, and that just goes to show how little current the locos are drawing. It barely moves. And this one's for the rolling road, of course, it's not for the layout. So I'm going to show you how to mount these. So to get like the voltmeter, I've got a cardboard template, and I'm going to show you how to make this card template for the ammeter. The ammeter's a wee bit different, because that's the controller. Here's the ammeter. The bit at the back is it's bigger, so it's a wee bit more intricate to get it to work. But hopefully, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, because it takes quite a wee bit of footering about to fit it, but I will do it stage by stage. So once I've got the camera set up, I'll be back. So here we are, folks. Now that is what you end up with: a circle cut out with 2 holes for the screw thingies to hold it in place. So I'll zoom in a wee bit, let you see what's going on in the table. Basically, you start off with a piece of card, trying to let you, and you've got you cut it a square, and then you put a cross across it, and that's how we start it off. So I'm going to cut that out. and once I've done that, I'll be back. So there we are, folks. I have now cut it out, so I'm left with this across the board. And the next thing we do is we take the ammeter, and the next thing you need is a compass, which I should have round about here somewhere. Now, sorry about that, folks, I was having a bit of bother finding my compass. Now, I'll have to zoom in for this, folks, for you to see this. This is quite... Now, there's a circle right round this. Don't know if the camera's picking this up because it's white, but it goes right round, and what we've got to do is we've got to draw a circle on this that corresponds with what we've got here. So we take our rule and we stick it in. That will roughly be 1 7/8 is the diameter of that. So what I do is, I'm going to tell you, folks, see where technical drawing was concerned at school, I was as thick as a pole. I could never grasp it. Now you just get it so that it's about halfway, and then line up the pencil with the outside of the circle. And then of course the next thing is you put the point right in the middle of the cross, and then draw the circle, and that is all that's required. So we've done that, so we'll take this back out. I am trying very hard to tidy this bench up, but it's not very successful. Right, so there we are. So you could take it out a wee bit again, just enough to so you can see what's going on. So we've got our circle. Now we could draw right round that, but what I find is it's rather difficult to stay bang on that line. So what I do is I take my rule right across the centre and just draw a line like that, and the same that way. So that cuts down the area that you're trying to cut. So what I then do is I do the same again. To cut it even further down, and the same again, and the same again. Doesn't matter if it's a wee bit off, because by the time that this is all cut out, so you end up with a lot smaller areas to cut. So I'll demonstrate how to do this, but I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'll just do a couple of, maybe a quarter of it. So what you do is you take your knife and you just take it along Then you go to the next one. And then you go to the next one again. Until you get to the next full line. So that will be a quarter of the circumference. So we have cut this line, that line, that line and that line. So the next thing we do is very, very carefully just cut along the outside, and then the next bit. So in theory, all that should come out in a winner. Now it's probably, I haven't cut right through, which is just about to be rectified. And then you've done that, you should just need to run around the outside again, which is obviously not fully through. And then we should be able to push it out. And that, then you just go around the rest of it just the same as that. So I'm going to stop there and I'll come back once I've cut all this out. Okay folks, bye just now. And there we are folks, the whole circle cut out quite neatly. I did take a shortcut where I didn't do all the spines, I just cut around the edge. If you've got a steady hand, you probably get away with that. So the next stage obviously is to kind of smooth the inside edge of this circle. I'm just looking over a wee bit of sandpaper that I had, which is here, and you just run round the inside of the circle we cut out. You want a nice smooth obviously the bit at the back, you just give that a smooth off, just to give it a nice edge. And there we have the basics of what we want, but to get this to fit is not quite as easy as what we have at the moment, because got our ammeter here. So the next bit, we've got to put it over the top of the terminals, and then we've got a wee bit of tightness, because it's got to friends, I don't believe this. I've done this I don't know how many times, and I've never had it as neat as this. This is brilliant. So what we've got now, well, by the way, before I go any further, there is one wee thing that you've got to watch. You've got the same size of cardboard on this, so you've got to make sure, I'll zoom out a wee bit to let you see this, guys. You've got to make sure that both of these are the same size, you know what I mean? Because if you turn it the other way, it's not a lot in it, but put them so that when you put them on the panel itself, right, so you've got that and that, they're identical. So when you put the panel in, they're both going to be in line with each other. If you say you don't want one, so there we are. So you'll get it so far on. Wait a minute. This was alright a minute ago. There it is. So we've got that there. Now, you've also got two, I don't know if you can see this, in there you've got two terminals that hold the meter in place. So you've got to get them, you've got to get this so that the meter sits straight on the cardboard, and then you press against the two terminals, and that will leave two indentations where those terminals have to go. Once you've done that, my wee Alday's drill set comes in handy for this. You take the biggest drill, which is 25mm, and we stick that in there. I did do this workshop already, and when I played it back there was a buzzing noise on it, so I had to hastily, whoops, microphone's falling down. Right, so sticking in a bit of cardboard behind this, and then make sure it's lined up. Well, it doesn't really have to be lined up, to be quite honest about it, but I like it to be right where now. Then just burrow the drill, then just run it through so that get that one out of the way now. and this goes back through, and the two terminals should fit exactly in place, and there you are. Friends, I really don't believe this. That's perfect. Normally I was having to cut round this because it was too tight, but this one just fits exactly in, and that's it fitted. So now you have a template. So let's get this back up again. So now we can very unstable, this microphone. Now we have a template that when we have built the fascia for the rolling road, we can use these to cut out exactly where the meters should be. So put that back on. Like that, and then we've got a wee dish here with the washers and everything on it. We just put them on. Spring washer as well. Just tighten up. If you've got a wee spanner or a wee socket, you could probably do these. I just do it with the pliers, because once they're in place, you're not going to be taking them off again. And there you have your ammeter and your voltmeter sitting next to one another. Obviously the back of them is different, so they're sitting at different angles, but there you have both of your ammeters and your voltmeter together, ready to go into the panels once the panel's built. I think that's quite neat actually. So there we are. Another wee workshop finished. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I do intend to do a workshop on the construction of the actual rolling road structure itself. I'm using the DCC Concepts rolling road. That's the one I'm using. I've just got to build the structure to put the track and everything on it. I tend it to be a portable thing. I also intend to, you can either have it powered, I'm going to put a transformer inside it to give you the 16 volts, but I'll also put in the facility to use an external 16 volts, just in case the controller packs up and you've always got another. Also, I'm considering putting in a double O track and an N-gauge track, so I can test locomotives from both gauges. So there you are, folks, just a wee insight into how to fit these meters into your control panel, or if you wanted to build a rolling road the same as me, you know how to do it. It's fairly simple. Takes a wee while to obviously to cut out. When I got the meters, I didn't know how I was going to do it. I don't understand why when you buy a meter they don't give you a template with it. It would save a awful lot of bother, be quite honest about it, but the powers that be obviously don't think it's necessary. I don't know if I showed you the controller. Remember that I showed you the controller before. It was lying there. Oh, there it is, I got it. Remember, I showed you it when it was just bare metal. That's it. It's been painted now, and I think that's quite a nice looking wee controller. As I said before, the direction switch will be set to one direction only, and it will be so you can't change that, because the direction switch will actually be on the rolling road itself. So that will be set so it's on. The speed control knob will still be operational, and then you put in your bridge rectifier, and then you put in your voltmeter across the positive negative, and then you've got your direction switch after that, and then you've got your ammeter in line with the outgoing supply, and that's how it's all wired. I was bamboozled. I'd like to thank East Bank Motor Railway Club in Fife for giving us the insight into how to wire up these meters. It was them that gave me the idea. I took it one step further though, by getting the ammeter with the needle in the centre, so it will reverse itself. When you reverse the panel mounted direction switch, it will change the polarity. The voltmeter won't. I tried to get a voltmeter with again the centre needle. I cannot find it anywhere, so obviously they maybe don't make them. However, as I always say, keep on modelling, keep on shunting, and may God bless you.
Speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We will sort it, see it, say it, sort it.